G'day Web Surface, I'm Kabbaway and this is Scandals Which Need to Be Handled. A debate series which is well overdue by like a year and a half. I don't really have an excuse, I just had a lot going on in my personal life, got preoccupied with other content, and it's kind of tedious to make a video requiring lots of images and stuff. But anywho, no more excuses, here is the real thing. Being Valentine's Day and with the remake of the legendary RPG Final Fantasy VII just around the corner, what better way to kick off a series about controversial opinions than to discuss what is probably the most controversial love triangle in gaming history. The one between Aerith, Cloud and Tifa. Dating as far back as the original game's release in 1997 and fueled by manual descriptions, in-game occurrences, ambiguous developer statements and player preferences and interpretation, this conflict over which girl Cloud has romantic feelings for has gotten a pretty infamous rep, with rabid fans on both sides of the debate getting personal and toxic on many occasions. That's not to say that there aren't any healthy Clerith and Cloti supporters, but unfortunately they're often drowned out by the ferocity of that minority. For the sake of brevity, I won't go into the whole story of FF7, so I recommend that you have a pretty decent understanding of the original game and compilation before continuing. Needless to say, spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't viewed these materials. And also, I don't want any shipping wars in the comments either. You can debate, express your opinions about your OTPs, but fair warning, I will not tolerate any bullying or profanity regardless of your shipping preferences. So before we get into my opinions on the love triangle, let's have a closer look at Cloud's admirers individually. Firstly, Tifa Lockhart is a seasoned martial artist and bartender who was Cloud's childhood neighbour in the mountainous village of Nibelheim. She also shares Cloud's trauma concerning the tragic incident which led to their hometown being destroyed, and their family and community slaughtered by rogue soldier Sephiroth. Acting as a mother of sorts to Cloud's party, she is very protective and loyal to her loved ones, and is a studious worker and supporter of anti-Shinra causes such as those enacted by eco-terrorist group Avalanche. But as her surname implies, she's also quite introverted and has a tendency to overthink, resulting in episodes of depression and hesitancy which can be detrimental to the people around her. The second lady in this love triangle is Aerith Gainsborough, a florist from the underground slums of Midgar who harbours a mystical heritage along with an array of unique powers. Losing her parents to Shinra, being a test subject for scientific experiments for the first 7 years of her life, and having to endure the hardships of being a slum dweller as well as a fugitive, all because of her true nature, Aerith harbours a number of traumas and insecurities. Despite this, she's more commonly known for her kindness, resilience, and unflinching resolve, as well as her candidness, which is occasionally unwanted but generally appreciated. Both girls have confirmed romantic feelings for Cloud, with Aerith being more flirty and confident, whereas Tifa's more shy and subtle. Their status as love rivals does put them at odds with each other every now and then, but ultimately it doesn't take away from their friendship. A close friendship which is demonstrated throughout the story of Final Fantasy VII, and a detail I think should be remembered in all shipping debates for these two girls. So in that case, which lady do I think Cloud has romantic feelings for? Well, I think my last video made it pretty obvious.
How could Cloud not love Aerith when he says something like that? He's literally saying he doesn't care that the world is ending because Aerith is dead.
I'm very much a Clerith shipper and always have been, from the moment my school friend introduced me to FF7 back in 2014. I have a few reasons why I ship Clerith over Cloti. In his interactions with Aerith, we see a completely different side of his personality. It's like he's almost taken aback by her kindness, enthusiasm, and openness. He's just completely fascinated in her, and he engages in small talk with her, which is something he isn't shown to do with many other people. In fact, he's so comfortable around Aerith that he actually laughs with her, which is something we've only seen from one other person in his life. Their interactions are just so full of authenticness and friendliness. They're just really engaging with each other and wanting to learn more about each other. And even though Klioud can say some pretty mean things to Aerith if the player chooses, canonically, he has a soft spot for Aerith. After all, Square Enix has officially stated that it was her that thawed his cold facade. She shows complete empathy and is absolutely encouraging of him, praising him for making it out to the Forgotten City even though it was emotionally hard for him. And she gently points him in the right direction, and she forgives him.
You came for me. That's all that matters.
And the one time we see Klioud be emotionally raw and just let out all his emotions is when she died. He had a complete emotional breakdown, describing how his body was feeling and wondering what he was gonna do without her, even going as far as saying that he didn't care that Sephiroth was gonna destroy the world because Aerith was gone. It just seems pretty clear to me that they were the intended couple of the original game. In Cloti's defense, it does have potential. Klioud and Tifa have a shared history, a similar sense of introvertedness, and they've got all the time in the world because they're both still alive. But unfortunately, that potential is overridden by the fact that their relationship is turbulent and stagnant. Even as kids, the unhealthy dynamic of their relationship is apparent, because Tifa completely ignored Klioud, causing him great distress and antisocial behaviors, and only came to him when she had no other friends to hang out with. And the whole basis of their later friendship revolves around the fact that Tifa strong-armed Klioud into a promise that if she was ever in trouble, he would rescue her. The fact that they grew up together has no effect on Cloud's change of heart. Also, Tifa's too quick to jump from bottling things up to absolutely exploding, and while it's good that she's being honest about her feelings, the way she blatantly does it isn't healthy for someone of Cloud's mental state. And also, when with the whole group, Tifa never gets shown preferential treatment above the others by Klioud. Ultimately, the only person he's ever shown that kind of special treatment towards is Aerith. He's completely captivated by her, and yes, he's concerned about Tifa and he'll always protect her, but ultimately his mind and heart is elsewhere. And Tifa's shown to have complicated feelings about Cloud's continual preoccupation with Aerith even 2 years after her death. With him even moving into Aerith's church when he gets Geostigma. It's just that he doesn't really treat Tifa like a romantic partner. They both hide things from each other. Klioud distances himself as much as possible, and Tifa just can't help but feel threatened by Aerith's legacy. So much so that she often inserts herself into what Klioud feels is between him and Aerith alone. In my opinion, the only reason they really stick together at all is because they have a shared connection with the past, and so they have an obligation to stick by each other. Personally, if they were to part ways, I think that'd be the healthiest thing for them. Unless they somehow manage to make their relationship healthier. But unfortunately, from all the material I've seen, I'm not really convinced that they're ever going to. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I think about Final Fantasy VII's love triangle. I could talk so much more about it. There are so many subtopics which I didn't even get into just because I didn't have time, and I've been flat out for the last 3 days editing this thing to make it, you know, semi-decent. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to debate in the comments, but just remember, please keep it civil. These are just my opinions. Ultimately, I'm a Clerith shipper based on all the FF7 material I have access to. But who knows, maybe the remake might give us more hints. For now, we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye!